guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Ifoma. I'm a fashion designer and a pattern dressmaker. From the title today, you already know what this tutorial is going to be about. We're basically making this dress. If this sounds like something you're interested in learning, please stay tuned to the end of this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share with your loved ones. The link to my Instagram page is going to be in the description box below, so you can go check that out. It's a very straightforward tutorial. Without further ado, let's jump right into this tutorial. Here are some of the fabric we're going to be using for this tutorial. We have our satin fabric, and I'm going to be dropping further details on all the fabrics we use for this tutorial in the description box below, so you could check that out. We have over here is the Lycra fabric. This is the thick Lycra. It's very stretchy on just one side, which is a good thing because we just need to stretch on just one way stretch. We have our net, and you could see I've cut this part of the net, while this one we have not cut this. Over here, I'm going over to just measure my desired length that I want to place on the floor, which will enable me cut my ruffles. You're going to see what I'm talking about in some few seconds. I feel like this method is something my OGs that watch my channel already know, because we've done something like this when we were doing our sugar daddy rope. So basically, I'm just going to cut this off and measure another round. You're going to do this for all the materials you have. Next step is just for me to lay this down, and you want to lay this down folded into two, like the net fabric folded into two. And once you're done laying this down, you can lay this down on your table if you're working with table, but I wanted a very big space, like a bigger space, which was on the floor. You get me? Once I'm done laying this down, it should look something like this. I'm going to fold this like so, and the measurement I'm going to be working with is 9 inches. But for this first part, I did 9.5 inches just so I could cut off that half of an inch English mouth you could see over there. At the course of watching this tutorial, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I continue to fold this all the way to the bottom. You want to lay this down neatly and also do your check-ins while you're laying this down to ensure your measurement is intact. Once I was satisfied with the placement, I just went over with my scissors just to cut from the top all the way to the bottom. Next up, we're going over to cut this fold open. One of the key elements to getting a nice looking ruffle is the cutting. So you want to be very intentional in your placement when you're cutting out your ruffle strip. I think by now you guys are familiar with the steps. We fold this like so, we take our measurement, and you lay this down nice and clean. When it comes to cutting the last part of this too, what we're going to be doing is just taking our normal regular measurements, and you can see that we have a little excess at the edge over there. We're also going to be cutting that off. Done cutting this, I proceeded to cut my satin, and I folded this in half. As you can see, that's into two. Then I folded it again to get this triangular shape you could see over here. This will enable us cut our flounce. Going over to draft the width of our flounce, when I first started drafting this out on the fabric, I was indecisive whether I should make this with a pleat, pleats at the tip, or without the pleats. The first measurement I did was without the pleats, so I later decided that I wanted the pleats. So just pardon the drawing you're seeing there. The actual measurement we later stick to was the last measurement I put over there at the tip, which was my final measurement that I wanted to work with. The length of the flounce we're going to be working with is 41 inches. So I'm going over from the top over there all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to spread that out 41 inches. I'm going to be measuring 1 inch for the bottom part, which is going to be our hemming allowance. So because I wanted a tail at the back, which means the back is going to be longer than the front, I went ahead to just use my chalk. There was no specific measurements, as you can see, to just mark my tail. And I'm going to be cutting from the tail part, like from the measurement we did, that's going to be the tail. And I use my scissors and just cut that out. With all of that, and this is what it looks like. We have our full flounce, but I'm not satisfied yet, so I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm going to be cutting this straight down. After cutting all of this, I'm going to take one part, which is going to be the front part of the flounce, and I'm just going to lay it down again. Just carefully lay this down in place. And then I go in with my scissors just to cut out the front, the actual front piece. So if you guys notice, now we're having two pieces, one for the front and one for the back. The back is the one with the extra tail, while the front is the one with, there's no tail. I went ahead to cut my lining, and this is basically what it looks like. This is a full circle cut out, and we're not going to be having any opening anywhere. It's just going to be the full circle, 360 circle, like this. Now it's time for me to show you guys how to achieve this bad baby hair like this ruffles sewn in place. I proceeded to take two strips of our tulle fabric we cut out, and we're going to be sewing those two strips together, creating the gather effect with our hand. There was no ruffle footer used for this tutorial, but if you do have a ruffle footer, please use that if you want to. I do have a ruffle footer, but I didn't use it for this tutorial. I just like to gather this with my hands manually. And to my OGs, you already know this basically. To my newbies, basically what I'm doing is while I'm sewing, I'm creating an upward movement with my hands, which helps me gather the two. One thing I love about this method is it gives me full control of the amount of gathers I have. And the benefit of using a ruffle footer is it's convenient. Like you just have to sew. Although sometimes you don't have like full control of the amount of gathers, but you could go over and over again to get your desired gathers. Like I said before, we have two strips sewn together to get this gather effect, and you could go as far as using three strips. You just know that you have to do a lot of arranging if you're working with three strips, unlike maybe when you're working with one strip or two strip, gathering this together. Basically, this is what it looks like once you're done gathering it, and I'm going to proceed to sew the ruffles we've made on our fabric, which is a satin fabric we have. So while sewing this, I want you to put at the back of your mind, you're not sewing at, you know, the top part. You're going to leave 0.5 inches. This is going to be your sewing allowance when you want to join the top to the bottom. So when you get to the bottom part also, you want to cut off the excess, and you also have to leave 1 inch from the bottom part. This 1 inch now is going to be your hemming allowance. Remember that 1 inch we added for our hemming allowance? Yes, we're going to be leaving that out. So because this is a flounce and not, a straight cutout, you have to be conscious of the placement of your ruffles. So I'm just going to the bottom to sew down a bit of ruffles. This will help me with the way our flounce is shaped. So you've watched this video up until this point and you're not yet subscribed. Why, guys? Why? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscription is free. Click on the down bell so you get notified when I post a new video. Leave a comment down below. Share with your loved ones. Thank you. I want you to know is while filling this up, you want to leave for the sides, you want to leave about half to 1 inch allowance. This will help you join the front piece to the back piece. And from that video you could see that it looked a little bit washed. It was just a lighting setup. So right now I'm showing you the front facing the back, like right side facing each other, and you could see that 1 inch I was talking about where I left. This will enable me to join the two pieces together. So right here you could see that I've joined the two pieces together, and I'm just going to show you up front. This is what it looks like with the front and the back piece joined together. I'm going to be taking this over to my sewing machine to sew in our hemming allowance. I was done hemming the bottom. I proceeded to take a ruffle flounce we've made to join with the upper part of the dress. So basically what I'm doing here is just pinning the two in place. Mind you, the flounce, we are going to be making little pleats from the flounce to add to the upper part of the dress, and this helps us create some kind of volume illusion. Like it gives the flounce volume. So once I was done with this, I just took this over to my sewing machine just to stitch that in place and added my lining. So guys, for this particular tutorial, there was no hard nets underlaying on the ruffle flounce we made, and this is because it will make the dress too heavy for my client. She really didn't want it that heavy, and this is what it looks like once we've sewn the lining in place. So we use the lining to create a clean finishing slate. So when you turn this over, you should have something that looks like this, and you can see that little space we have there. We're going to attempt to fill that up with our needle and thread and a strip of ruffle. This method is quite easy and simple to do. You just need a needle and thread and then sew on that strip of ruffle we have around the top of our ruffle flounce. So for our girlies that don't like to sew with their hands or needle and thread, what you could do is you could take this over to your sewing machine and attempt to sew this on with your sewing machine. More pictures and videos of this dress is going to be on my Instagram page, so the link is going to be in my description box, so you can check that out. We'll come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video.